Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Kreinen with the National Weather Service in Chicago. I would like to take a few minutes here to talk to you about the significant river flooding that is occurring across northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. From our main webpage at weather.gov/Chicago, to look at the river conditions, select the Rivers and Lakes tab at the top of the page. And this will bring up the Advanced Hydrologic Predictions Service page, which has the current conditions of the rivers over northern Illinois, northwest Indiana. As we can see right now, many sites are already well into flood stage across the region, with some at moderate and some even already at major flooding. This flooding was largely due to periods of heavy rainfall over the past couple days, which brought around 3 to 6 inches of rainfall over the Illinois, Iroquois, and Kankakee River basins. And this 3 to 6 inches of rainfall also combined with a snowmelt, which included about 1 inch of liquid equivalent water in that snowpack, along with the ground being frozen. Since the ground was frozen, not much of the rain was able to percolate or be absorbed into the ground, and was all translated into runoff into the rivers. So to look at the actual forecast for these points, select the River Forecast tab. So recentering here, what we can see is that many of the sites that were in either minor or moderate flooding are forecast to go into the major flood category. Looking at a few of the sites on the Illinois River, here we can see that at LaSalle, the river is forecast to crest in the major flood category at 31.7 feet by Thursday afternoon. A little bit upstream at Morris, the river is expected to crest a little earlier, looks like late afternoon tomorrow or tomorrow evening, with a crest of around 23.5 feet. Looking over in northwest Indiana, we'll take a look at the Kankakee River. For Dunn's Bridge, what we see is the river is expected to continue to rise a little bit slower, but steadily rise over the next few days, with the stage approaching record levels. The situation at Kouts is very similar, as well as at Shelby. The Kankakee River in northwest Indiana is a very slow responding river, in that once it reaches flood stage, it is very slow for the flood waters to recede. So the Kankakee River at Shelby, Dunn's Bridge, and Kouts are expected to remain in the major flood category for the next several days. A little further south in the Iroquois River, we see that at Rensselaer, the forecast stage is expected to rise almost to 17 feet by Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night. And then for Forsman, not expected to quite get as high, cresting just below the major flood stage. And as we go into Illinois, for the Iroquois River at Iroquois, the forecast is expected to just reach 26.3 feet, which would tie the record stage for the Iroquois River at Iroquois. And looking for a little bit further south for Sugar Creek at Milford, that is also expected to rise to reach a record crest of 28.7 feet, which would be expected a little bit later this afternoon. But then going upstream with the Iroquois River into Chabance, this is a little bit trickier. The stage is actually expected to crest a little bit later maybe not till Friday afternoon, but with all of the flow from upstream from the Iroquois River and Sugar Creek, we're looking at the possibility of exceeding the record crest with the forecast right now being 22.8 feet, and that would be on Friday afternoon. Now continuing downstream, again, we'll look at the Kankakee River at moments. Again, that's expected to rise just a little bit more, but still cresting in the moderate flood stage. And finally, we'll take a look at the Kankakee River at Wilmington, where all of the confluence of flow from the Iroquois River and upstream in Kankakee, we're looking at the river to crest very soon and remain at this level in the moderate category right around 9 feet until Friday afternoon, and then slowly subside. So all in all, this is a fairly significant river flooding event for the area, with many sites remaining in above flood stage for the next several days. I would encourage everyone to please heed the river warnings that are out now. Please do not cross over barriers into roads that have been closed due to ongoing flooding, or especially into areas where additional flooding or higher flooding is expected. Remember that, please remember, driving at night is especially difficult in flooding situations. It's very difficult to tell how deep flooded water or flooded roads are, so your best course of action, as always, is to turn around and find a different route. And thank you for joining me this afternoon. My name is Andrew Krein with the National Weather Service in Chicago.